Welcome to A Mason's Work, the podcast where we review Masonic symbols and illustrate how they can be used to solve problems in everyday life. With your host, Brian Mattocks, a proud member of the Craftsman Online Media Network.
Here's the thing that nobody warns you about when we start talking about masks and performances and the cost of calibrating yourself for every single room you walk in. Most of it feels like good behavior, feels virtuous, doesn't feel like self-betrayal, doesn't feel like weakness or suppression or this slow accumulation of a debt we talked about yesterday. It feels like maturity, like professionalism. It feels like being the kind of person who has enough self-control not to say the first thing that crossed their mind, not to react in the way the body wanted to react, but to keep it together for when keeping it together is what the situation required. And sometimes that's exactly what it is. Genuine discernment. Choosing your response rather than being driven by it. And that's awesome. That's the kind of thing you learn to do over time and keep yourself upright under pressure. And that's exactly what you want to do. But there's another version of that behavior that looks identical from the outside, but it costs 3 times as much from the inside. It's not discernment, it's suppression, wearing discernment's clothing. It's the discernment, suppression, masquerading as discernment that really adds to the toll that we talked about yesterday. And the only place you're going to find that is in your body. Discernment is a choice that's made from a clear place. It's a moment of recognition, a genuine reflection and understanding and a weighing of things. It's a response you'd make again under similar conditions. And physiologically, there's a cost. It's calories and all that kind of stuff, but it's real and it's proportionate and appropriate. Suppression underneath is really, really quite a bit different, even when it looks the same from the outside in. There's a tightness, a specific kind of breath, a sensation of something being pressed down rather than set aside, and the cost is different. It doesn't resolve after the moment passes. It carries. It adds to this ledger in a way that discernment doesn't, because suppression doesn't complete the transaction. It kind of defers it. It pushes it along to another time. It accrues a debt, and that gets pressed down, and it's still in the account, but it's accumulating interest. This distinction is practical, and if you're going to learn to use interoception and understand your body and what it's telling you as the instrument for finding where all these costs are being calculated, you need to know what you're looking for. It's not fatigue in general. It's not tension in general. It's specific. It's a specific quality of sensation that follows when you are doing that kind of expensive suppression. And it's a genuinely different feeling. Here's a sample kind of example starting point. Think back to the last time you were in a meeting or a conversation and something came up that you didn't respond to organically, honestly. Now, I want to be clear here. Honesty is not, we're not suggesting, and I'm not suggesting that when you don't respond honestly, you're being disingenuous. That's not the same thing. Responding honestly, meaning you had a response that you have filtered. It was different than how you would like to react. It's not necessarily dramatic. It's just an ordinary moment where the way you wanted to react and the way you did were different than each other somehow. You'll probably notice a feeling in your body when you did that. Maybe a tension, maybe a drawing of the breath, maybe a furrowing of the brow, right? Whatever it is, it's somewhere in the chest or the throat or the gut. It's a compression. It's a tension. It's a held tension, for lack of a better way to say it. And it's something that kind of we wanted to move, but it didn't go. That sensation is the beginning. It's an entry point. It's a place to start noticing. And all of what we're doing over the course of this process is where all of the fun stuff happens. We're trying to gain access to the instrumentation that we have buried under layers of what felt to be good choices, and now have lost touch with. So we're looking for indicators. If you were out, trying to understand maybe the mysteries of ancient Egypt, digging in the sand, you have to look for parts that are sticking up. You have to look for the parts that are sinking in. And in that process, you'll get to the tender stuff underneath. And this exact interoceptive sort of perspective or understanding is what we're trying to build. In practical terms, on a daily basis, it's looking for these hesitations. It's looking for the places where you recognize that you're out of fuel. And you start noticing maybe what the cause might have been. Now, look, again, if you're out there and you're running a marathon, literally running a marathon, it is entirely appropriate for you to be tired. But if you're not, and you're not doing anything close to that, there's a good chance that this is that technical debt, that debt that's just accruing in the behind the scenes of you having this ego depletion, this expense of sacrificing yourself in service to the present moment. Again, sometimes it's good. Sometimes you need to do it. But when it becomes a problem, it creates this burden that's really hard to get out from under. So look for those. If you find that you're sitting in the car after a meeting, if you find that yourself, that you need to take these moments and you're not really even doing anything to try and recover, this is a good indicator that you've got these things, these stories, these masks, this weight of this masking process that is consuming you. So think about it. And tomorrow we'll get a little bit more into what to do when you find it.
The views represented in this podcast are those of the speaker alone and are not representative of any grand or subordinate lodge.
Hi, Brian here. I wanted to thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you have any suggestions or guidance for further episodes you'd like to see or hear, whatever the case may be, please don't hesitate to reach out to me at amasonswork.com, and we will try and incorporate your suggestions into a future recording. Thanks.
Freemasonry teaches us that the true work is within, a lifelong journey of reflection, discipline, and discovery. At A Mason's Work, we help Masons bring out their best selves through meaningful self-inquiry and symbolic practice. From personal reflection to lodge engagement, we offer tools that turn symbols into action. Visit us at amasonswork.com. The work is within. The time is now.